Welcome to early game fists build for Nioh 2, you Karate Kid impersonating bastards. Before we start with the build, I have to explain what early game means in Nioh, so there is no confusion. It means first playthrough, more or less, not first couple of regions or levels. In this case, it is for first 100 levels or so. Max character level is 750, and there are 4 more difficulties beyond starting one, and endgame content on top of that called Abyss and Depths. New difficulties unlock one after another by completing set number of missions. Early game builds that I'm doing are for first playthrough for the most part, and they change a bit as you progress due to better equipment becoming available over time. You can play with exact gear, however, for many playthroughs as long as equipment level corresponds your own. That is done by soul matching gear at the blacksmith or acquiring smithing texts that allow crafting gear at your level. Before levels 50 and 60 builds are not really possible, at least not very effective ones. Up until then it is best to go for balanced stat distribution with additional points into strength and magic in this case, but also make sure to match requirements of the armor set you plan on using. At around level 100 stats should look something like this. Additional focus on courage and heart is recommended to help with ki management. From this point onward, prioritize strength, get magic to 30 and distribute points as you like between constitution, heart and courage. Don't level strength immediately to 99, but try to invest into other stats as well to have better character overall. Now we get to equipment. Secondary weapon should be an axe with rage duration special effect. As for the main weapon, it should have similar special effects like these: active skill damage, active skill ki damage, melee ki consumption reduction and so on. Special effects can be rerolled at the blacksmith with tempering option. If you are lucky and get fists with imbue corruption special effect, definitely take that as it helps tremendously with human enemies. A bit later on, white lotus fists can drop and they are great ones to have as well. My primary set choice is Master Archer for early game, mainly because of melee damage versus electrified enemy bonus. It is heavy set and that is why we need 9 or 10 points into stamina so that equipment weight goes below 100%. Best mission to farm this set and its smithing text is to play Imagawa Die Hard mission in second region called Soaring. Special effects on armor pieces should be similar to what I have. There is fantastic special effect on every armor chest piece that can be gained through tempering or through lucky drops. It is called elemental damage taken. I couldn't get it here, but if you are lucky, great. Before obtaining Master Archer in second region, I would advise equipping Shinto Priest from first region. Sacred Water is great for ki recovery and having untouched 35% is a big deal. We use Sacred Water, which is frequent random drop until barrier spell becomes available. Warrior of the West is another great set for this build. It is random drop from 3rd region onward, I believe, and smithing text drops from High Spirited Demon Mission last boss. Temper accessories to get melee damage versus poisoned enemy on both. The rest of the effects is up to you. Ame no Mitori and Makami are both good starting spirits. Switch later to Asura Hicho, and after Asura Hicho I would recommend Atlas Bear as soon as you unlock it, because of low key bonus damage and melee damage increase. course, you should have Ariatsu no Kami because of melee damage versus poisoned enemy increase, Namahage because of melee damage versus zero ki enemy, and if you have enough space, Onibi Soul Core, preferably lightning based, because when used it puts lightning effect on the weapon. Most important active skill for this build is Battering Ram. It does high amount of ki damage and launches human enemies in air if their ki is reduced to 0, dealing lots of damage in the process. Reckless Charge and its upgrade Dread Slayer are excellent choice too. Beside those, go for whatever you like, as long as you invest into blue upgrades too, because all of them are important to some degree. From X tree, Rage is needed. From Omnio tree, get these ones and upgrade them too. Steel Talisman, Protection Talisman. Weakness. Lightning Talisman. Pure Heaven Cursed Earth, Pure Mind and Incantation Mastery. Rest is optional. From Ninjutsu tree we need Poison Shuriken fully upgraded, Shuriken Shooter and Ninja Tool Mastery. Hidden Tea House is unlocked after a couple of regions and I would recommend Takenaka clan from here. Now we get to gameplay part. Our primary stance is heavy, but if you have issues with key management in it, then switch to medium until you learn the ropes of this build. Here is what you need to do before bosses. Add elemental stop talismans from Omnio Magic Tree because most bosses focus heavily on one element. Use for example Fire Stop Talisman or any other that would be good against the boss you are about to face. After that use Protection, Steel, Barrier, activate Rage buff with Axe, switch to Fists and use Lightning Talisman to apply lightning effect if boss isn't resistant to it. This is why I said Imbue Corruption is awesome on Fists, because lots of human bosses in Nioh 2 are resistant to lightning. In that case you don't need to apply Lightning Talisman because Corruption will do massive ki damage, so no worries if you lose all damage increases relevant to lightning element. Upon entering combat, immediately poison the enemy with Poison Shuriken and cast Weakness. Now it's go time. I mostly spam Battering Ram skill, but it would be best to mix active skills with attacks to get unbroken buff levels with Fists, which increase attack power per stack. Don't forget that bosses clear debuffs like Poison and Weakness after switching realms, so be prepared to reapply those when possible. When it comes to your own buffs, I usually do not reapply Rage buff from X, but focus on Barrier, Steel, Protection and Lightning Talisman if necessary. That's it. Remember, practice makes perfect. Enjoy!
Come on.